Okay, hi, welcome everyone. Welcome for this demo session of Appian training. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ravi. I have almost like 10 years of experience in Appian development. I'll be taking this Appian training wherever I join, and then we will be covering some of the topics like whatever we will require for this base Appian development. So we will be covering all those topics, and then there are a few topics that we will not be covering. I would like to let you know those topics because those are very important important things to know because people may say that it's also part of Appian. Why you are not teaching that? So the things that the robotic process automations, so that will not be covered at as your first training. And then IDP, the intelligent document processing. So because those are the separate attributes or separate applications that has been created by the Appian, so yeah, we don't cover those kind of things. So we will be covering the entire end-to-end development process. Whatever you will require for your this training and all. We'll see all those things. So that is from my side. Anything else you wanted to know? You can ask. So we can start the uh, our demo. Anything specific that you guys want to know regarding me or the training process? Are you guys able to hear me properly? Is my sound audible to you guys?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Um, so yeah, I mean, you guys have anything that you wanted to know regarding this? Okay, now let me start sharing my screen. Um, so, uh, I mean, you guys know, right? I mean, you guys are here, so you must have heard about the Appian anywhere. Might be your colleagues are working on Appian, or you might have heard through the some, your company is going to start project on Appian, something like that. So, is there anyone who doesn't know what Appian is basically? Let's be interactive,
I'm new
guys.
for
It's a
this tool.
demonstration. Yeah.
I'm new for this tool actually. I'm from non-IT background, so just you can do and basic converts in Appian.
Okay.
So I hear about like no Pega is there like a BPM tool
Mhm.
compared to Appian. Pega, why Appian is good? Just can help us.
Okay. Yeah.
To be frank, I can say I'm into recruitment team, so I seen like most of the openings for Pega, not into Appian. Appian is very less openings and less people are there in the market.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anyone else? What
Hi,
Appian
this is
is?
Deepak. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Deepak. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name. I just joined a few seconds late. What
It's
should I refer
Ravi.
to? Ravi. Hi, Ravi. So I'm already an Appian practitioner for the last 5 years. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here actually to refresh my basics, but at the same time, mostly refresh my cloud basics because Appian on cloud is I've heard somewhat
Mm-hmm.
different than what we are using, which is on-premise.
Okay.
And at the same time, I don't have a thorough background with software development. So I was
Okay.
basically an IT analyst, and I've just pivoted to Appian for the past 5 years. Started as an analyst, so gradually just moved into development and like a systems analyst kind of role with Appian, and did a little bit of development and release cycles, and just wanted to know more. Where do I stand to, or what do I get,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to learn from my
Okay.
end? Thanks.
Thanks, Deepak. Good to know that. Anyone else know about Appian or doesn't know what Appian is? Just a kind of fresher or something like that. Who wanted to share something?
Ravi Ram here again. So,
Yeah.
one of my friend is working in Appian, is asking like certification is mandatory. Can you help her for like for certification? How it is?
See, if you talk about the kind of help, like kind of proxy help, so we don't do that. Proxy help we can't, get to you do. But what we do is like we help you to, get you trained in such a way that you should be able to complete at least level 1 certification by yourself. What we also try to find out some of the questions, because right now what happens is, the Appian has changed its exam pattern. So what they do, they take the exam through the video conferencing. So it's very hard to copy paste the questions and
Okay.
prepare a list. So whatever
Okay.
we try, like if someone have some questions in their mind, so they can write it down, so we can collect it. So I just try to collect all those kind of questions, and if we get it, we share with you guys. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Ravi, if I can ask one question.
Sure, sure.
So Ravi, for Appian, I'm mostly interested in the developer track, and
Mm-hmm,
as I think I just mentioned, I have a little bit of exposure to it. It's not
mm-hmm,
too much in terms of development. It's less than
mm.
2 years. But do you think uh, do what does one need to whoever is attending this class need to have a strong fundamentals in terms of programming, or like
No,
people
no,
can
no, no. It's not like that, Deepak. No, it's not like that, Deepak, because uh, we do the training in such a way that even freshers can attend it. Because we start from very from the scratch. We start designing the tables, and then personally I take an session, like based on, like we decide one use case, and then based on the use case we start the thinking of the, what could the next step, just like the user story. You get the user stories, like, okay, this is done, what next could be done, and what's next is the requirement. So slowly, step by step, we complete the use case, and then we, in between that, we cover all the development topics that we should be having to create one application. So at the end, we cover all the topics. Also, we will have one application at the end, so we can know how to use which objects and which type at what time. So that's what my process is to get to train.
thanks, Ravi. I just look forward to what sort of things you will cover and how long it will take.
Sure,
Thanks again. Thank you.
sure. All right. Anyone else, like, know about Appian, or who doesn't know what Appian is? Pooja?
Hi Ravi,
Yeah.
actually I don't know what Appian is. How does this works? I'm just
Okay.
freshly graduated student, so just wanted to know
Mm-hmm.
about this.
Okay, fine. So let me first tell you what Appian is. Uh, See, we have the basic languages as well, like C, Java, and Python. All those are the core programming languages which is used to develop an application for worldwide wise. If you talk about the Appian is basically a BPM tool. BPM, when you say BPM, is a business process management. So what is a business process management? When we talk about a business, like, it's a requirement what clients give to you. Okay, this is my business, I want to have it. Process is like how you are processing that particular requirement, and management, how you're managing the data. Mostly the Appian application that is building, right? So that Appian application is like for in-house employees. When you talk about the in-house employees, it's like, suppose you are a bank employee, and then you need to take the request from the customers, and then process that request. Like, some customer send say, give you a check, right, checkbook. So you need to issue the checkbook. How do we issue the checkbook? So those kind of applications, like, for example, in your company, if you're applying for a leave request, right? So that leave request, you submit the leave request, it will go to the your manager, and then your manager will approve it. So that kind of workflow we have it, right? So most of the time, the Appian application is used to build an application for the in-house employees of the organization, not the end users. When I say the end users, like the clients, the like, I am a customer of SBI, so this application is not for me. The application should be for the SBI employees. Okay, so that kind of application we built in Appian. Got it?
Got it.
Cool. Yeah, Pooja. Okay. um Kalyan, would you like to share something about Appian? Do you know something?
No, I have a basic idea on what Appian is, but
Okay,
I don't have any working experience on this.
all right. But you know what Appian is and how it works, right? Cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
sure.
I know what to use it for and just the basic knowledge.
All right. Okay, Deepak. Got your message. Thanks, Kalyan. Shika? Okay. All right. Bindu, would you like to add something for Appian? Come on, guys. It's a demo session. You can make it interactive. There is no loss in asking questions here. So yeah, please be interactive. All right. Okay, fine. I think we have Videsh, Mallikarjun, MSI, Gopi. If you guys have anything you'd like to share, you can ask. Otherwise, we can start the demo.
How long is this training?
Yeah,
Like how many
this training
sessions?
usually goes like I can say up to the 40 to 45 sessions. Each session will cover one day, and it will be like on working days, like Monday to Friday. Yeah. Sometimes what
Okay.
happens, many people goes on leaves. Some people may have even I could also can go on some leave or some personal works. So sometimes what happens, it extended beyond that because we need to, it's all our personal time, right? We can take that. So that happens, we go on leave, so it may go up to the 2 months, but not more than that, what I have experienced till now.
Okay.
Mhm.
So will you be developing any application while training or
Exactly.
along with
So
training?
we will be covering and all the topics, and meanwhile we will be also creating one application. So we initially we will think about a use case, and then in the use case we'll start developing how what kind of thing, what objects or what topic we need to cover while designing an interface. I mean the entire application. So, for example, we start from the data model, we decide the tables, we decide what are the tables is required, and then we start with creating the CDTs for that, and then we start creating the interfaces for that. Likewise, we proceed, and we also at the end of the training, you will have one working application with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
Ravi, one question, like for example, we have completed this training, and
Mhm.
because we are off track as well, we are not getting into the Appian development. We are not
Mhm.
getting hands-on on
Mhm.
this Appian stuff,
Mhm.
right? We are maybe the
Mhm.
Java developer or Python developer
Mhm.
somewhere else, right? So
Mhm.
how we can brush up again whenever we require in future to go. Do we have any recording which we can access further, or can you guide us like for the platform where we can go and brush up our skills again
Yeah.
after
So
completing this training?
sure. So we will be sharing the recordings with you. You, I mean, this you can go with the recordings. So recordings will be there for the entire session where we will be covering it.
So those will be lifetime access. How it will be? I mean, I just want to validate.
So there is some policies getting changed. What happens? People are started misusing it. They are selling my recordings
Okay.
to the market. So yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk to. I mean, we can work it out at this point, and we can discuss like how and what kind of access will be there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So one important question I would like to ask all of you: how many of you have the Appian practice environment with you? Uh,
Your question is Appian practice, right?
is Appian practice environment where you will be doing all those practice?
Okay. Actually, I tried with the Appian community through
Mm-hmm.
Appian community, but we don't have the company environment to work on. I mean, to
I
practice
mean,
on.
but do you have this Appian community that gives a free environment? Do you have that?
Yeah, I tried to create, but it gets deactivate during the weekend or idle time.
I
So we need
mean,
to restart that.
it takes around 4 days to deactivate if you don't open it.
Right, right.
So,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah.
So
So
because
that's the
I
thing.
have tried for a while, I was just trying, but I couldn't understand much, so I was stopped, exploring it more. But yeah, that we can use as a free community. But
Just
do we
try
have the
to
specific environment? Yeah.
no, no. I mean, I was saying just try to reactivate that particular site because right now there are a lot of
Mhm.
requests is being made to the Appian, so and Appian, so
Yeah,
Appian
it
has
takes time actually. Yeah, it takes
yeah, it
time, two
takes a lot
weeks
of time.
even to create that. Yeah.
Correct. So just see if you
Okay.
don't guys have that one, right? If you have it, well and good. So what happened, I have my site activated. I mean, so what happened? I share that credentials with all of you, like all the training candidates. But the thing is that now there are a lot of candidates that is being there now, right? I need to revoke the access for um, the last batches. I need to do that so I can share with you all. But the thing is that you guys need to make sure that you don't disturb the others code, and then you need to make sure that you only work with your application and do not delete anything. Okay, so I'll be sharing that thing, but that will be limited. Like after the training completed, it will go maybe 10 days or more 15 days for your brush up your things. But I'll suggest have your environment ready by the time so you can also practice by yourself. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Any more questions? Shall I start the presentation?
Yes, Ravi, please.
Thank you.
Get material or documented material like three report.
Sorry, Ram, I didn't get you.
Three report like whatever we are discussing material on Appian.
Um, Basically, if you have not seen that Appian community have a better documentation for each and every topic. But still, if you want to have the material, I can try to prepare one
See,
and then we'll share with you. But the thing is that whatever I
yeah,
will be preparing,
community will have many things, but whatever we are hearing here and whatever going day by day class, that we can
hmm,
understand that easily. Whatever we are hearing and we can read same thing, so that we can understand easily.
yeah, sure. We'll be creating some of the materials and we'll be sharing with you. There are certain materials we follow that, but at the end of the thing, people only say that okay. I mean, whatever material I prepare, it's from the community itself, right? As for example, if I talk about the CDTs, I prepare a document for the
Hmm.
CDTs. I'll put some points,
Okay.
whatever I discuss. But the thing is that you will get
Okay.
my points plus some all extra other points from in the community itself. With better declaration and all those languages. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you need, I can share, but it's all there. You just have to search for CDT, and then you will get all those points. But fine. I mean, if you need that, still, if you need that document, I can share with you guys. That is okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Thank you. All right, then let me share my screen. Okay. So why Appian? The first questions come to the mind is why Appian, and what are the benefits of using an Appian? So if you talk about the core languages, right, the programming language that we have like C and Java and all, right. So the thing is that first of all, you should know that this Appian itself is built in a Java language. But the thing is that Java has built it, but if you want to create an application, what we are creating in Appian is 10 times slower than Appian development at the Java development. The thing is that Java is a pure language. You need to know each and every syntax of it. You need to have every line of code. But in Appian, it's like it says low code. When it says a low code, and one more thing, I just wanted you guys to be very sure, sure about it. That there's a two terminology: low code and no code. When we talk about the no code, you do not have to write any single line of code. It's just whatever it's there, you have to use it. Okay, so they have some created some prototype and they have created it and then they have stored it. So if you are using such a tool which is on the no code, you just have to drag and drop that particular prototype and your application will be ready. But the thing is that you will be not be able to improvise that. You will not be able to customize that. That kind of things are there. When you talk about the low code, Appian is one of the leading low code tool in the market right now, and it is in high demand. And it is very faster as compared to any other program, any other BPM tools. It also allow you to automate the process, and it is very, as I said, it's very faster as compared to any other, like if you talk about the Pega or Camunda. So many companies now, they are converting their application what they have built on Pega to Appian. That's what the Appian position is right now. So we will talking about the what is the BPM process in Appian. What is the market positioning of the Appian right now in the market, why it's low code, and where it fits, which kind of applications, data, and processes with how do we process the data. We also talk about the objects that we use in Appian development. We'll try to show you some architectural showcase, like how Appian is working in the backend, and we'll try to show you some Appian applications that we have it already, and then we'll go for the question answer session. But the question answer will be in the between as well, so that's fine. Okay, so we talk about the BPM, right? BPM, business process management notation. So what it is, like, if you as an example I gave you, like if you want to apply a leave, then a process will get started. Once you submit your form, your task, it will generate a new task for your manager for all your details that you have submitted. Like manager can see it, and then they can say either approve or reject or put it on hold. So that kind of process is there. So for example that is given here is that online shopping, where a user can make a request, yeah, and then it will go to the online shop. There they can send an offer. Okay, so this is offer for you, do you want to continue? Yeah, I accept the offer, I place an order. Once I place an order, they will validate for the payment. So once the payment is been completed, the product will be get saved, and then after that the product will be dispatched, and then that will be received by the customer. So there's a complete workflow that we are doing from start to end. That is what about the BPM process. We will be seeing that in Appian we term as a process modeling. So process modeling is basically used to design your workflow, like from where you start, what are the things you will perform, and then where you will end it. Okay, so that's we call process model in Appian. Okay, so we talk about the Appian, what Appian is, and what kind of application it creates, and what other things we do. So let's see that. So you see this interfaces, all these interfaces are designed in Appian. The one of the best greatest things about Appian is that Appian is enhancing every time, like in a year it releases its 4 versions. Okay, so there will be 4 versions, and Appian has also enhanced a lot in terms of the interface in interface way. So you see this, all these interfaces have been designed in Appian, how good looking it is. And then initially it was very basic interfaces, there was no images, and it was just text field, and I mean all those basic fields, and then submit button and all, right? But now Appian has introduced a lot, so you can have all those things. You can have very good features for the creating a charts, very good features of your using the home page. Also, initially the Appian does not have this terminology called site. It was have only its basic page where you can see your task and all, right? It was very basic to the Appian. Look and feel wise, it was not giving you the feeling that you are working on an web application. It was like you are working on a tool. So now they have come with the sites where you can see this, the first image, this one, it's a site image. You can have all those things where you will feel like you are working on a real application. Okay, all right. As you talk about, it's a low code. So there are many companies, a lot of companies which are using now Appian, and they say that if you talk about the Equivia, they say that the clinical trial startup time reduced by 1.5 months. So the time that it was taking like almost 12 months initially, now it has been reduced to very less time by using this Appian application. The Bayer is one of the biggest companies that also says that reporting that they were building, like it was taking hours in some other tool, it's now reduced to minutes. So they are now able to create a report in 3 minutes. So that's how the Appian design the things. It gave you the low code feature where you can just drag and drop and provide some configuration, and the interface will be ready for you. Now you can also go and customize it according to your way, and then you can update it if you need something here and there, and likewise. Okay, so that's about the low code. Market positioning. think someone talk about the market person that is in the recruitment team, but one no, and there's no much opening. But I can tell you that right now, even in the during the COVID, right? During the COVID, I personally switched my job in Appian. I mean, from one organization to other, and I saw that many companies did not have the openings, but Appian was having a lot of opportunities, and people were getting a good hike, and then people were getting a good salary. Even freshers are joining this Appian project. So my company itself hired 10 to 15 freshers during that time, and then we are very happy with that because if you invest like in experienced people, you can also invest in the freshers, which out of 10 maybe 5 can give you a good work, right? But there was opening in Appian, and there is an opening in Appian in a huge amount. Okay, every day I get a call for an Appian position. A company like Coforge, they are hiring like anything. There are a lot of openings. They have big clients with them, and then they are taking a lot of hiring nowadays. And then same as go for the Cognizant, same as go for the Capgemini. I see a lot of people are hiring now. This is an old report, but yes, currently still also the Appian is it's a higher rating and higher in demand right in the market. And then uh, the 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 thing is that Appian also gives you a good salary structure. Just because the demand is high, people are getting a good percentage of hike as well. Okay, so where this Appian fits, Appian, as we talk about what kind of application is good for the Appian, so this Appian fits in terms of the automating your, if you want to automate any of your process, any requirements in your company, Appian fits there. And if you want to extend your application, and then if you want as Appian is just a backend process, you can use that as well. If you have existing application built in Java or C or Python, and then you want, okay, I'll submit the request. Like suppose you have a application beautifully built and it's working fine, but there's some issue into the backend process because it's taking so much time in Java and C, right? So what we can do, you can have your interfaces develop on your Java or Python, but in the backend process you can use as a Appian, and then it will process your data and do all those things very quickly, so you can use there as well. You can also connect Appian with any other applications, like sharing through the APIs and integration. It will be very easy to communicate data from one app to other app. Okay, so they're all Appian fits. Yeah, I mean, if you talk about a database, and the process how it works, like Appian, in terms of Appian database, Appian also uses its own database. It's with the package it comes with you, that is called MariaDB. Initially it was MySQL Server, but now it has changed to the MariaDB. So if you want to use your inbuilt database, you can use that, or if you want to use any third-party database which you already have it, like Oracle, MySQL, or SQL Server, you can still able to connect to that very easily and get your data. Okay, so what else we can do? So we can have we can create your Appian application. You can have some put artificial intelligence in there. You can also have some robotic processes. So that is how Appian is enhancing itself, so give you a complete package of your development experience. Okay, yeah, I mean, this is what about, like, how do you connect your data from SAP or the some other application if you have it, and then how to connect your prepare your report and all. So that's how Appian is fitting all the places and give you the faster execution. So this is Appian interface, one of the site interface that has been built in Appian. You can see that it has a very nice billboard layout at the top, and then some graphs, and then some good images, and then you can have the data organized in a proper way. So user can have, by looking itself, user can have a proper idea of your how and what the data is and how this works. Okay. Again, this is a kind of a reporting that we built in Appian. Okay, and yeah, even as you talk, right, it can be our Appian is also giving you the RPA feature, the robotic process automation, and then artificial intelligence are there, right? So this you can create all those into a one process, and you can have a complete um, development experience. But the thing is that it's not required all the places. For your basic Appian development, it's not like you need to use a bots or AI. The core development of Appian, like how you build an entire application, it's not required. You must use the bot and AI. Bots and AI is an enhancement of your features. If you want to something that is done by the system and you want to make it as a done by the robots, that is also possible. That's what it meant. Yeah, you see this one, right? Zero code. If you see, this is a process model, right? And we wanted to have a process model just by the configuring. Like, you don't have to write a code. Like, suppose if you want to send an email, and you don't have to write much code about the sending an email. You just have to drag and drop the email smart service, and then you have to configure like whom it needs to be go and what needs to be go, and is there any attachment or not, right? Just you have to configure that, and once your process model will execute, it will do all those server checking everything, and then it will send an email. So that's why it says you have to don't write any code for it, you just have to configure for it. So this is how the process model looks like in Appian. Okay, definitely one of the company Forrester says that it's a 20 times faster than the custom code, obviously, right? Because if you have to design an interface, like if that interface contains, let's say, 10 fields, 10 text fields, or two drop downs, one radio buttons and all, right, it will take a day for at least for you to give you proper design, or put all those alignment, check the JavaScript and all, right. You need to know the HTML5 and all, right. So it will take a lot of time to do that. But in Appian, you can create an interface just like that. It also gives you some basics coding, basic design patterns. If you want to use that, you can do that. Otherwise, uh, in an hour maybe, for as a fresher I'm saying, in an hour maybe you will be able to have create an interface very quickly. Why? Because if you want to have a text field, you just have to drag and drop a text field, and then you need to do the configuration whatever is required, and done. You don't have to write any single line of code to create how a text field will be created. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this all things, what are the objects that we have, commands, like we will using the process models, we will like expression rules, interfaces, integrations, VVPIs, all those things we will be seeing. And like this are the companies who are using Appian as like as a code development. So all their application is being now developed into the Appian. There are very few. Whatever we are showing you here is very few. There are a huge amount of customers they are using the Appian right now into the market. All right. Okay, let me quickly share you the one of the applications that Appian is being built and then how it looks like. Let me show you the how the Appian UI looks like and how it works. Give me a second. Before that, do you guys have any questions in your mind?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ravi, is RPA part of this thing, or like it's supposed to be, or it's like considered advanced?
No, we don't cover the RPA process because it's an entire different topic. It's all the new kind of new course that Appian has introduced. So what is an RPA is like, all those things you need to go with a separate uh, training for that. That will not be covered because that all itself take a month or more than a month, right? So it's not possible to cover all in one Appian development topic. That's a extra topic that you need to take it up.
Thanks. Just one last question, Ravi.
Yeah,
I think you were just telling to someone that you have to apply for the Appian community. I think it's the cloud instance you're talking about that we can
yes.
try and test everything. I already had one. Like I've not been using it for the past 3-4, I mean, literally 1 month or something. So do you think like there is a delay for everyone now, or like just for new users, and how long it takes?
See, initially what happens, see, the first thing is that if you don't use it, right, it will get deactivated in like 4 to 5 working days, right? I mean, continuously, if you're not using it like 4 to 5 days, it will be get deactivated. Initially, it was getting deactivated in a minute, but right now there's a huge demand is happening onto the Appian server, so it's getting delayed. So they are saying like 2 weeks, maybe someone taking 3 weeks, it is not getting activated. So for that reason, I will be sharing my account's credentials. I will create one development access and will share with you guys. But you just need to make sure that you do not delete any other codes or any other things. You don't perform like that. Okay, that's what we do.
Right. Thank you.
So, hi Ravi. I just wanted to share. Actually, my community edition site has been deactivated this morning,
Hmm.
so I raised a request. I just got it activated in a couple of hours itself. So, just wanted to share it. So, might be helpful for someone.
Yeah, that's good, Vidyas. If you get that in a couple of hours, which is very fine, right? Because if you see many, someone has shared, right? I guess you right? It's 2 weeks now, but she hasn't get it situated yet. So that's
Okay.
the
So,
position. Yeah,
uh,
but it's good if you have deactivated. That's good. You guys can try it. Definitely, you guys go and try it for the Appian project. I will be sharing the link if you don't know where to create and all, right? We'll be sharing those links. But yeah, just try it yourself. It should be activated. If it is getting activated, well and good, right? Yeah.
Ravi, what is the purpose of RPA? I didn't get it much about.
So
So,
RPA is robotic process automation, right? If you have some work that you want to remove this manual task, and then if you want to have robot instead of you working on these things, right? So that's an RPA. Got it? Okay. I think Sika did ask that question, right? Sika, is that you that did you ask that question, RPA?
actually, I got log off somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So
RPA is
yeah.
saying this is
So
a robotic process automation, right?
yes, yes, yes. So what happens, like, so for
Oh,
example, think about a scenario where you have to download some file from somewhere, or you have to take a file from one folder and then you have to keep it somewhere, right? Such kind of operation, if you want to do that, and then instead of Appian or instead of any users to do it manually, you want your RP to perform all those things, right? At some point of
Okay,
time.
I got it. If, for example, my file is located in any NAS location or Unix server,
Yeah.
I want the
Mhm.
RPA where that it will, fetch the file from that particular Unix server location and will upload it
Correct.
somewhere, right? Okay,
Correct.
I
Correct.
got it.
So that
Thank you.
robot will be doing all those kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi Ravi.
Hey, Joshua.
Yeah. Can you try to explain the architecture in brief, if possible?
I will be showing the architecture in the next slide. So I just wanted to have you some Appian demo, how the Appian looks like, and then we can show you that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Ravi,
Okay.
one more question. Sorry to
Yeah, go.
interrupt.
No
In
problem.
case we need to practice, keep on practice like the development scenario and all. So how we can get the, for example, we in this training session we are going to discuss one is user story, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then we are going to develop a small application, right? So to
Mm-hmm.
keep it practicing, to touch all the components, whatever is available in this Appian technology, what is the
Mm-hmm.
easiest way, to understand? For example, I understood the interface or understood the entity managers, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
I want to use it, but I don't know where to use it, right? Exactly what kind of scenario
Mm-hmm.
it will get fit. Then what is the easiest way to get such scenario, such hints, and then start using it?
Um, the use cases, right? Basically, you need to think
Right.
about a use case. Let's say I say, okay, for example, I want to use this application, and then no, let's decide something that I can do it myself. I also suggest all those candidates who join, right? Whatever use case we are trying during the class, don't use that same use case. What will happen? You will end up the copy pasting the code, right?
Right.
So try to think some other use case in your mind. Like for example, you can think about a online book selling process, right? Where you can apply you can sell a book or something like that. You can go to the site and something that that follow the pattern of your Appian development, and then try to do it by yourself. Like, okay, I need to display this thing. So don't think about the entire application at a time. Think about in a process. Okay, let's start with like creating the tables. What are the tables we will be required, and then let's start the database designing. Let's start the interfaces. What kind of interface will look like, and then try to connect all those dots. So that is the reason in my training personally, many people go with the training the topic wise. They will pick a topic, and then this, okay, this is today I'll go to discuss about the process modeling, and then they will create a process model and explain each and every point of view very nicely. But the thing is that we don't know when to call that process model, right? Why, where we will connect in this process model. So that's the reason I go with the training, like, I don't start with the process model, I don't start with anything, like there's no sequence. I'll start with the process, application start it, and then we see that, okay, now I need an interface. So I'll create an interface, I'll talk about the interface, I'll explain all most of the uh, rules that we will be creating, most of the functions that we will be using for an interface, and then utilize that. So that is how I proceed. So that gives you a clear picture. Okay, at this point of time I need an interface, at this point of time I need an expression rule, at this point of time I need to start creating process model. So that is how we proceed with this training. So that is how you also have to think about, like, think about such a use
Okay.
case and then
So we just
proceed
need
step by
to pick
step.
the use case, then we need to think about it, like what component we
Correct,
can use. So that way it would
correct,
be
yeah,
easy to learn,
it
basically.
will be,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
cool. All right, let me start sharing my screen. um, okay, so if you guys see my screen, this is the first Appian basic screen, which we had since long. I mean, we were working on this basically a site page on Appian. This is for the both our users, the developer and the end user who will be using your application. So this is called Tempo. So this is the base URL of your application, and then we have the sorry guys, 1 second. Okay, sorry. So this is a basic URL, and then we have the different shoots. We have Tempo, we have Designer, we have Admin Console, and then Database and all, right? So this is the first basic page, the Tempo, which has 5 sub tabs, and each tab I'll explain, like, the first is the news tab, where you can see the any news thing if it has been posted on the site or your application environment, you will be able to see that here. The task is basically in the Appian process. And one more thing, like your one Appian environment is not like it can have only one application, you can have n number of applications in your one environment. So in the task, like suppose if you are part of these 2 or 3 applications, all those tasks related to that has been assigned to you, you will be able to see it here. For example, you see this one of the application that we have built, and then it says that, okay, approval form is there, I need to go and check, and then we need to either approve or reject for this application, so we can go and perform it. So all those tasks that has been assigned to you will be listed here. So third is the Appian record. You can create your record, and the record basically will come under this one. So let's suppose if you have if you want to display the list of the employees that you have, you can display it here, and then you can have all those process details, and you can take an action on those records as well. We have also reports. Report is basically for if you want to have any graphical representation of your data you want to display, we can display it here into reports. And then finally we have an action if you want to trigger any new action, like if you want to apply a leave, or if you want to initiate some inventory request or some kind of things, we can have that into your application here as well. Okay, so this is about the first suite that is called Tempo. Any question here? So this page will be for basic users, the end users. Yeah, go ahead.
Add vehicle is there, right? Can you explain that?
Sorry, what is it?
Add vehicle in first list. Add
Add
vehicle.
vehicle. Okay, so add vehicle, these are the new action. I mean, suppose if you want to create a trigger a new action of your, like suppose if you want to have who has made this model, and you want to insert this all those details, and then click on add vehicle, so it will insert a insert that data to the system. If you take about your this leave request, so I want to take a leave like for myself, or if you want to have leave, like suppose if someone is not feeling well, and on behalf of them you want to leave apply a request, we can go it here, we can select a particular user, and then hit on next, provide the leave details, like from when they need a leave request, and then till when they have want this leave request, all those things we can do that. We can select the leave type, put any reason if you want, and if you upload any document, if you want, click on next, all those details, the confirmation page, and then finally submit the request. So once you submit, a request will be get triggered, and entry will maybe will be get inserted into the system. So that is how we trigger a new action. So that's all about the actions. Okay. If you as a bank employee, if you want to onboard a new customer, so you will say there will be some action calling that, or customer onboarding, initiate a customer onboarding, then it will create a new task, you will see the new screen now. So it's basic about the create a new action for your application. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Any more
So
questions
Ravi,
here, guys? Yeah.
these are basically a small application form, right? These you
So on
have
the left hand,
designed, right?
yeah, so on the left hand side, if you see, is all the applications that are available into the system. You must have seen
Hmm.
that in whenever you have this Appian environment, there are certain applications that has been built by the Appian, and they gave you for a dummy purpose. We can
Right,
build some,
right.
like if you, so we see this one like request management and leave management, all the incident management, all these things we have created as part employees request management portal. We have created for our training purposes, and others are like from the Appian itself.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions in this page? I mean, we will definitely see in the depth. I just giving you the overview. Okay, the next the next shoot that we have for an Appian is called Appian Designer. So this is basically for the developers. So if you are a basic user, if you are an end user, if you go there, you will not be able to see these options. Okay. So this is for the Appian developers, where they can see the list of the applications that are available in the system. These all are the list of the applications. They can also create a new application by clicking it here. They can see what are the all the objects are available, like under application you will be able to see all those objects. Okay, under the application you will see all those objects, but also you can see all those objects here, but it will not be application specific. It will be like all the objects that we have in the system will be listed here. And then we have a deployment tab. So deployment tab is like to see what has been deployed, when it has been deployed, all those things. If you want to check, you will do it here. Monitor tab is basically for the running whatever is running more instance of your process model in the backend. You can see that, and if you are having errors, you can go and analyze those errors, what is going wrong with that particular process. And then we have a user tab where we can create a user, deactivate a user, and even search for a user and check it. Okay, so this is for the developers. So they basically need to go to the application and then create a new application, and then they need to create and start development of the application. Okay. Any questions here? There
So
should be.
before application designer, we were checking what was the term? I couldn't get it. Where we could see all the application, right? Which you have created for training perspective. So
The
what
application
was that? Like this is application designer where developer can play, right? So what was that?
designer, Appian designer, we call it
No,
Appian
this
designer.
is application design. Application
Uh-huh.
designer. We were seeing the list of application where the actions are getting listed, right?
Oh, that is
So
tempo. Tempo.
tempo. Okay, okay, okay. Got it. Yeah.
Okay, so whatever applications we'll be creating here, and then creating any action of it, so all those will be listed here. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else into this page, the designer? All right. Let me show you the third one is called admin console. So this admin console is basically for the system administrator users, where you will be setting up your branding of your application. You will be creating some APIs authentications, some keys for like Appian algebra mechanism, deployment checks, and creating users, setting the user start page whenever they log in, what needs to be shown here. All those kind of things you can set it here. This is not for the developer. This is for the system administrator, and system admin can do all those setup, right? So that is about the Appian admin console. Now the other page that we have is called cloud database. The cloud database is basically gives you the Appian in-house database, that is MariaDB, where you can create a table, views, store procedures, and functions. and you can write your data and read your data. So we will be using this particular database in our Appian development training process. Okay, and then we have something called system logs. Like system Appian is giving you the logs very easily to your the object itself, but even that is not enough. You can go for the system log and check for your errors. Okay, so these are the basic shoots that we use in Appian. And for developer, the more important is that Appian designer. Okay, Appian design the suit. Got it?
Yes, Ravi.
Okay, now I have also shown you the application, like how it works, like apply leave process. We have seen that. So likewise, we can create any other application we can utilize here. Okay, now let me share back my presentation.
So Ravi, one question, like for
Yeah.
example, if we are coding for the validation or in the development side, any specific thing we need to learn, like a JavaScript or something we should know?
No,
Nothing.
nothing.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So I was trying to keep one validation. I was just, using, I was just practicing, and at the time of validation, I was putting, but I couldn't understand those syntax. So at the time of training, will you guide us like how these syntax are designed and all, right?
So there are in inbuilt functions are there. We'll see how to use them and how it works. Okay,
Okay.
definitely we'll see that.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the Appian product architecture. As any other application languages, we have same thing here: the three layers, the interface layer, service layer, and then database. So front end, back end, and then the data. That's what we have as like general program language. So what are the things we have in interface layer? So we have seen the tempo, right? So just like a tempo, we have now have sites. Now sites is just like the same uh, you know, uh, instead of working on this tempo page, you will be working on a site. Let me show you the example of a site. Okay, so see that to go to site, you can come here in the grid icon, and then like we have created one site called employee management portal. So click on employee management portal. Now you will be get out from this Appian designer tempo page, and you will come to this one. Some issue here, that's fine. We'll go with some other thing. So you see this is site, and then in a site you will have applications like you are working on a web app. So this is a site that we have. All right. Let me search for another site. Let's say any site that has Appian built. Let's say Acme solution site. So this is a site that has been designed by the Appian. So they have a list of the vehicles here. They can add vehicle from here. No need to go to tempo. They can add vehicle to fleet directly from here. They can flip the report. So all those things they can have see it. Yeah? So this is the Appian site that we have. So what is the difference you guys feel can I tell you what the difference between tempo and site for now? It's a very small difference is here. In tempo, you see that all the applications are listed that you are part of. Yeah, but in site, the site is specific to an application. Okay, so that's the major difference between tempo and site. So you will be knowing that which site you are working on. Okay, cool. All right, let's go back. Okay, so this is the Appian tempo and site. Now we something also have an embedded interface which is really being used. Like suppose if you want to use Appian interfaces, some other programming languages or existing application, that is quite possible, but there are a lot of limitations. You cannot use everything. You just can use some record and reports to be displayed, and not all the interfaces there. We have seen the designers. So designers is basically for the developers where they can go and do the development, and we have seen this admin console to set up your environment look and feel wise, and creating new users, setting a start page where all those things, and authentication mechanism, all those things we can do that there. And then we have the services, the backend. So what is helping Appian to get it the work done? So we have the servers, web servers, the Apache servers and ISS that they are using to store all those objects that we are creating, store all those instances data that we have in we are running the processes. It also has the APIs inside this one and integrations inside this one, so we can connect to the third party to get the information and to share the information with, like, so if you want to get the information, we can use the integration object. If you want to share the information from Appian to third party, we can use the APIs. So all those informations will be designed under in the services. It also have some folder structures where we can giving you the location wise where you put all those things and all, right? um, it it use the Amazon web services, and then if you see that below we have data point, the data layer, where we can have the databases connect like MySQL, SQL Server, MariaDB, and then the file system. So all those objects that we are creating, we are capturing into the file system. So those files will be available to your Appian environment. If you are uploading an image, or if you are uploading any file, if you are generating any file into Appian, all that will be get captured into the Appian, and it can get captured in a folder. And then we also have a search server available where user can go and search for the objects that we have created, search for the rules, expressions, interfaces. So it returns your data very quickly. So that is about the Appian architect in as an overview, right? So any questions?
So here we are not talking with the code, right?
We are not.
We are not talking with the code. I mean, we are not implementing any kind of code, either in tempo or interface level or any services level or database level, right? Just
Coding will
drag
be
and drop.
it's a low code, so you need to have some coding at least, right? But it's
Okay.
not like you're not going to use any single line of code. There will be some coding, like suppose Sika is talking about the validations. If you want to put a validation, like whatever user is inserting into the name text field, it should not contain any number field and number values, right? So we can put a validation. So we can have if condition that, like we have already in the college time. Okay, if my text contains number integer, then put a validation that please provide valid name, else nothing. So those kind of codings will be there, right? For sure. It's not that's what I can say is I'm not a no code application, I'm a low code application. So there will be some coding. Yeah.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
coding will be just like the Java. I mean, if you talk about the standard, like if else condition, uh, the choose function, and then search function and index function, everything very similar. So if you think about a scenario, like if I want to say I want to replace something, this word from this, like we have a, like this is a boy, I want to boy to replace by a girl. So we have a function called replace there. So if you think about the terminology, a function would be on that same name you will be seeing there in the app. We'll see all those things. But yeah, it's not like you do not have to write a single line of code. You will be writing some coding. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's all about the service. So any questions, guys? Any questions regarding how we can proceed the training, when we can proceed, what's the timing, what's the process? I mean, I talk about most of the things, but yeah, still, if you have any doubts, you can go ahead.
So daily this time 7:30.
Yes, if this is what we have decided, we'll continue with the 7:30, and it will be for an hour. Sometimes it go for like 1 hour and 10 minutes. Sometimes also it can complete in 50 minutes. So that's depends the topic that we are covering on the day and the questions that you guys are asking.
Hey Harsha, I have one question. Sorry, Ravi, I have one
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
So how many lectures do you anticipate we will have?
I'm sorry, Deepak, how much? What?
How many lectures do you anticipate we will have? How many days? Because will
So
we have?
usually goes 40 to 45 sessions. Mostly it will get covered into what that is a maximum number, including like leaves and plan some any reason we are not able to take that session. particular day. So it goes up to maximum 40 to 45 sessions. The last training completed in 42 sessions because there were a
And
lot of leaves. Yeah.
Can't you cover in weekends, like Saturday, Sunday, for spanning like two classes and all, so that we can fast track the course?
See, it looks theoretically it looks very good to have that. Let's have something on the weekends, and but I have experienced that, guys. You guys will need time to do the practice. Now, if you go on the weekends as well, it will be you know, uh, over for you guys. I mean, overflow, and you will be end up like messing up the things. Okay, I didn't get anything at all. So take that time off and do the practice by yourself. If anything has been, you have missed or you have not done the practice, utilize that time. You will need, believe me, you will need that. And then, but yeah, I mean, weekends I don't provide friends.
only 5 days per week, and that's roughly like 2 months.
Correct.
But thank
Yeah, Ravi, I joined a little late. Do we
Mhm.
have a certification at the end of this?
No, I mean, we don't provide the certifications. We just guide you how to do the certifications. But yeah, we don't do proxy settings and certifications. No.
Hello, Ravi.
Yeah.
What is the criteria to complete the certification? Just, I mean, what is the pattern of exam? Can you help us?
So there are some uh, practice tests are available in community. You can appear to that and see the question patterns. Basically, in the level one, they mostly ask the questions around the, how do you know Appian? I mean, how well you know Appian, and then how well you know the agile methodology. All those kind of things will be there. And then some part of your applications like what object will be required, why do we need this, and all, right, those kind of things will be there. Not much, not that tough, but yeah.
Ravi, do we
I
really require certification in case we want to pursue the job in Appian and all? No, I guess, right?
See, it's I say no, but the thing is that, like, suppose you are also appearing for a same post, right, and then someone also appearing for the same post, and they have the certifications, right? So definitely
Hmm.
they will get the more priority, right?
I see.
Yeah.
Ravi, in once
Mhm.
we are done with the training, what assistance do we get in terms of cracking interviews or with the mock interviews or any kind of,
Mhm. So I'll be sharing some of the latest questions on interview questions, because in Appian it's very common questions that they ask for the interviews. I'll be sharing a list of the questions with you all. But the thing is that it depends. There are certain scenarios questions, like and the scenario questions depends on the person who is asking the questions in taking the interview, right? Because a person will take a scenario question what they have faced in their development phase, or they have been asked in their interviews, right? So uh, those we can't help you, right? What scenarios they have faced. So but the basic questions of interview we will be sharing in the list of the questions,
okay, thank you.
but no proxy. If you want to more specific, no proxy. Sorry for that,
Yes.
but yeah, we don't do the proxy. Okay, no more questions. All right, then let's um let's see how we proceed. You guys will be connecting with the uh, organizer, and then let's see how many of you we can see in the next session. All right, Thanks all
Thanks,
for
Ravi.
joining. It was nice interactive sessions like that, because if you don't ask questions it will be very difficult to answer everything. So it was nice. Thank you all, and I'll be in touch with the training organizer and we'll see how many of you can join us. Thank you.